Welcome to Surrendering to Divine Providence, selections from Crito by Plato, Vegetarian, Part 1 of 2 on Words of Wisdom. The venerated Socrates, vegetarian, was born in Athens, Greece, circa 470 BC. Many people consider him to be the father of Western philosophy. Others think of him as an insightful teacher and an enlightened master. Socrates believed that an individual's main purpose on earth was to discover the truth. He stated that most people focus their lives around their families, careers, and social responsibilities, when in fact they should be concerned about the welfare of their souls. With compassion for all life, Socrates followed and promoted a vegetarian diet. Most of the information about Socrates, vegetarian, his life and his philosophy was transcribed after his departure by two of his students, Plato, vegetarian, and Xenophon, vegetarian. These disciples wrote about their master in several books, in which Socrates is depicted as the main character. Originally written in 360 BC by Plato, vegetarian, Crito depicts a conversation between Socrates and his faithful friend Crito while he is awaiting execution in prison from an unjust trial against him. Here Socrates explains the divine concept that it is unacceptable to repay evil with evil and that one should not pay too much attention to what the majority think, but would rather follow the direction of the Divine Providence. During a lecture in Costa Rica in 1989, Supreme Master Chinhai Vegan spoke of the sacrifices that the saints, including Socrates, vegetarian, made to enlighten people and why they are the greatest peacemakers.
All the saints in the past worked very hard to enlighten people, even though by doing so, they have to endure many kinds of criticism, misunderstandings, and hardships, sometimes even risking their lives, such as in the case of Jesus and Socrates. Also Buddha, many people wanted to kill him, also tried to blacken his name. But despite all of this difficulty, the saints always endure for the sake of people. The saints are the greatest peacemakers, the greatest politicians who always bring peace into the world, the king without any throne, because they don't need anything in this world.
Today we would like to present excerpts from Crito by Plato, vegetarian, where Crito enters Socrates' cell very early in the morning to persuade Socrates to use the escape route that had already been prepared for him. However, Socrates resolved to surrender himself to the will of Providence instead. Socrates asked, "Why have you come at this hour, Crito? Is it not very early?" Crito replied, "It is." Socrates asked further, "About what time?" Crito answered, "Scarce daybreak." Socrates pondered, "I wonder how the keeper of the prison came to admit you." Crito explained, "He is familiar with me, Socrates, from my having frequently come here, and he is under some obligations to me." Socrates questioned further, "Have you just now come or some time since?" Crito replied, "A considerable time since." Socrates exclaimed, "Why, then did you not wake me at once instead of sitting down by me in silence?" Crito explained, "By Jupiter, Socrates, I should not myself like to be so long awake and in such affliction, but I have been for some time wondering at you, perceiving how sweetly you slept. And I purposely did not awake you, that you might pass your time as pleasantly as possible. And indeed, I have often before throughout your whole life considered you happy in your disposition, but far more so in the present calamity, seeing how easily and meekly you bear it." Socrates then said, "However, Crito, it would be inappropriate for a man at my time of life to lament because he must need die. Crito replied, but others, Socrates, at your age have been involved in similar calamities, yet their age has not hindered their lamenting at their present fortune. Socrates asked further, so it is, but why did you come so early? Crito replied, bringing sad tidings. Socrates, not sad to you, as it appears, but to me and all your friends, sad and heavy, and which I think, shall bear worst of all. Socrates questioned further, what tidings? Has the ship arrived from Delos, on the arrival of which I must die? Crito explained, it has not yet arrived, but it appears to me that it will come today, from what certain persons report who have come from Sunium and left it there. It is clear, therefore, from these messengers that it will come today, and consequently it will be necessary, Socrates, for you to die tomorrow. Socrates then replied, but with good fortune, Crito, and if so, it please the gods, so be it. I do not think, however, that it will come today. Crito inquired, whence do you form this conjecture? Socrates then answered, I will tell you I must die on the day after that on which the ship arrives. Socrates then said, I do not think then that it will come today, but tomorrow. I conjecture this from a dream which I had this very night, not long ago, and you seem very opportunely to have refrained from waking me. Curious Crito asked, but what was this dream? Socrates expounded, a beautiful and majestic woman, clad in white garments, seemed to approach me, and to call to me and say, Socrates, 3 days hence you will reach fertile Phthia. Crito remarked, what a strange dream, Socrates. Socrates confirmed, very clear, however, as it appears to me, Crito. Crito further said, very much so, as it seems, but my dear Socrates, even now be persuaded by me, and save yourself, for if you die, not only a single calamity will befall me, but besides being deprived from such a friend as I shall never meet with again, I shall also appear to many who do not know you and me well, when I might have saved you had I been willing to spend my money to have neglected to do so. And what character can be more disgraceful than this, to appear to value one's riches more than one's friends? For the generality of men will not be persuaded that you were unwilling to depart hence when we urge you to do it. Socrates then asked, but why, my dear Crito, should we care so much for the opinion of the many? For the most worthy man, whom we ought rather to regard, will think that matters have transpired as they really have. Crito replied, yet you see, Socrates, that it is necessary to attend to the opinion of the many, for the very circumstances of the present case show that the multitude are able to effect not only the smallest evils, but even the greatest, if anyone is calumniated to them. Socrates further explained, would, O Crito, that the multitude could effect the greatest evils, that they might also effect the greatest good, for then it would be well. But now they can do neither, for they can make a man neither wise nor foolish, but they do whatever chances. Crito responded, so let it be then. But answer me this, Socrates, are you not anxious for me and other friends, lest, if you should escape from hence, informers should give us trouble, as having secretly carried you off, and so we should be compelled either to lose all our property or a very large sum, or to suffer something else beside this? For if you fear anything of the kind, dismiss your fears, for we are justified in running the risk to save you, and, if need be, even a greater risk than this. But be persuaded by me, and do not refuse. Socrates then said, I am anxious about this, Crito, and about many other things. Crito then reassured, "Do not fear this. However, for the sum is not large on receipt, of which certain persons are willing to save you and take you hence. My fortune is at your service, sufficient, I think, for the purpose. Then if, out of regard to me, you do not think right to spend my money, these strangers here are ready to spend theirs, so that, as I said, do not, through fears of this kind, hesitate to save yourself, nor let what you said in court give you any trouble, that if you went from hence, you would not know what to do with yourself. For in many places, and wherever you go, men will love you. And if you are disposed to go to Thessaly, I have friends there who will esteem you very highly, and will ensure your safety, so that no one in Thessaly will molest you." For more information, please visit Project Gutenberg or gutenberg.org.
There are not really any downsides to going vegan. I feel better for doing it. I would recommend it to anyone. Chloe Arthur, vegan.
Righteous viewers, thank you for watching today's Words of Wisdom.